People love hardcore games right now. Hardcore WoW Classic is taking the world by storm, and of course, ARPGs have always used these modes in their games, and honestly, people love it. Hardcore has been so popular, everyone can see clips of them. Even people who don't play WoW check clips of people dying in hardcore because it's fun, because it's very easy to understand. Hey, this guy died level on 2 levels after before getting to level 60. That's fucking funny, okay? And of course, even some of the Guild Wars 2 moments got in live stream fails and were very popular, even though there's not that many people that play Guild Wars 2, because of course, if you see someone dying on the last level from a random thing that they didn't think about, yeah, that's kind of funny, right? It's a bit sad for the poor streamer that lost all their time, but it's pretty funny. But what is the actual reason, other than clips, that people like hardcore? I also get this impression that a lot of people think that the reason why they care so much about hardcore and they think that it's so fun is because it's difficult. But I don't think that's the case. Classic WoW is not very difficult. Guild Wars 2 hardcore is not very difficult, but people still like it. And I think the reason is because, not because it's hard and it's honestly a challenge, which it is, but mainly because of the fact that it makes you care about the game more than playing the game normally. It makes you care about the world, your character, and everything in it. Hardcore modes are essentially whenever you play a video game and if you die once, you have to delete your character and start again. There are some other restrictions that sometimes you get depending on the game, like not trading with people who don't play hardcore, or not trading at all, not wearing gear, all of this stuff. But in a nutshell, it is just, if you die, your character gets deleted, you have to start over. But what is the appeal of playing 40 hours to get to max level and then getting one-shot by a random mechanic you didn't know about, or misstepping for falling to your death and having to start all over again? Well, definitely not that. Dying, not fun, okay? Dying to start over after 50 hours of gameplay, not good. It's because whenever you're playing hardcore, every decision that you make is gonna give you a bigger or lower possibility of succeeding. So every gear that you equip, every choice in your build that you do, every move you take, every place you go to is gonna change your possibility of winning, and every button you press. So everything gets heightened to a higher level in terms of like importance and meaning, right? So whenever you're playing, whenever you're leveling even, which usually is pretty chill in most games, you're probably not gonna die that much and you're not gonna really care that much, it's just a chore. It makes it actually be fun because everything matters. And this helps a lot of older players that play the game for a long time that maybe are not as enchanted with the game as they used to be, into reliving something they used to really like. And honestly, used all of the information and start using all the information that they've gotten through all of these years and applying them in a setting that they're not really used to. And of course, most people really like this. Especially in a game like Guild Wars 2, where gold is so important and can be bought with real money, with hardcore rules like you can't trade with other people or only the people that you're playing with, and you cannot obviously swipe for money, you cannot trade, right? It makes the game super fun and engaging for everyone who participates. You actually have to get your items, you actually have to engage with the systems, you actually have to craft, you have to do all of these things by yourself and actually engage with the systems instead of essentially ignoring them because, well, the game needs to make money. This gives players who are burnt out of the game, that have played for a long time, a way to relive their experience for a game they loved for years. Sure, sometimes it's time for you to move on from the game, but other times you just want to relive it in a new way. See the game that you loved for so many years in a different light. Especially if you're doing it with a community in the internet or your friends. I actually been doing this with my friends and it's actually been very fun, even though I honestly don't really like the idea of like having to redo everything again because I'm a very reward driven player. But hanging out with them and all, trying to get this exact same goal has been very fun. Why do creators like it? The amount of clips that you get from stupid deaths from people is actually such good content. Everyone's trying to achieve the same thing, and of course that means that everyone's very invested into when someone dies and understands exactly the feeling that they get when they die. When you see your favorite streamer dying in a place that you were and maybe you survived, or maybe you died too, you're gonna be like, man, I know that, I feel connected to that, and that's pretty cool. And honestly, even if you don't know it, it's pretty funny. And it makes for great content. So of course, content creators are gonna love it. They can just do it over and over again, even if they die, and get the same amount of content, and people are having fun with each other, forming communities, hanging out, and caring about their game they all love. You can also make guides for things that are not that hard in a normal run, but of course, in an actual hardcore run, it will be way harder. The same thing applies for challenges. You can make a lot of challenges out of things that are trivial in the normal game, but in a hardcore version of it would be actually pretty challenging and way more meaningful. There's of course people who don't like hardcore, and that's perfectly okay. Essentially fool yourself to do an event that honestly makes no sense, and you can just do the same things on your own with no these arbitrary restrictions. But that's okay. If you don't like doing that and you don't want to waste your time leveling over and over again and having to refarm everything in your account, I think that's completely valid. And yeah, the game mode is made up. It doesn't really exist. We're essentially making it harder for ourselves to play the game in order to have a bit more fun. But you know what? I think that's fine. At the end of the day, this is a video game. It is to have fun. If we have to essentially make our game less efficient for us to get stuff, because we're doing it hardcore, we have to delete our characters each time, but it's more fun than before, fuck it, who cares? At the end of the day, WoW Hardcore has been very successful because honestly, they don't care about that. They care about the fact that the game is more fun this way, and they have made a community out of this, which is honestly great. And, of course, it also comes with certain types of prestige. If you have a lot of fashion, a lot of skins, a lot of weapons on your hardcore account, you're gonna feel way more attached to that than in your normal account. And I think that is pretty cool, and that's pretty meaningful. Sometimes I think that people care a bit too much about the fact that maybe the hardcore experience is not as hard as it should be. Let's be real, Classic is not really that hard. It's gimmicky. If you die to a random stuff, to a random thing that you didn't know about, you're gonna die, you're gonna lose all your progress. Same for Guild Wars 2. Honestly, it's pretty easy. Probably easier than Classic WoW, because you're so much more powerful. There's so much of so much more things you can do. But at the end of the day, is that really that important? In my opinion, the only important thing is whether the conclusion of hardcore enhances the decisions you make as a player in the game. This will make you care more about the world and of course the game and your playthrough. Fuck, even our current Guild Wars 2 hardcore event is not hard at all. Says me, who has died like 5 times in a row without getting to fucking level 80. But whatever, dude. Most people that even has said that it is too easy and tried it, still have fun with it. Because they care about the game, they love the game, and they want a new way of experiencing it and having fun. They've been playing the game for 10 years, and reliving it this way makes them see it in a new light. A light that is fresh, fun, and exciting. And that's honestly what it's all about. Having fun with a game that maybe has been stale for you for a while, but you still care enough to try it again and try and find that spark on it. Sometimes it's time to change games, because maybe the game isn't for you anymore. But other times, I think it's also cool that you can find another way of playing it that will give you more joy than quitting. So there you go. I think that's mainly the biggest reasons why people like hardcore. Not because of the difficulty, but because it makes you care about the game that you really love. And, of course, little plug in here, we are doing that ourselves right now on Guild Wars 2. If anyone wants to join, it's pretty fun. We have the rules. I'll put them in the description. These are the ones, right? You can see them all. You must be in a player's account. There's going to be multiple seasons, by the way, so it's not going to end up here. Downside does not count as that. You can see all of the information here. You can also not trade with other people who are not in hardcore, or group up with other people in instances if they're not hardcore and we're playing to do raids, strikes, CMs, all of this content. I'm probably gonna make my meta train in hardcore as well one of these days. Hopefully I don't die. And I think it's gonna be very fun. And we'll end it up, the last season with the hardest content in the game, HTCM hardcore. See if we can pull it off in one go without dying. We probably will die, and we're gonna have to delete our characters, but what are you gonna do? That's how this goes. Of course, thank you Regal Power for making this possibility. He was the one who had this idea, and he organized everything, the rule set and everything. So you should join his Discord. I'll put it in the description, so you can join and see the achievements that you can get on each season to, get immortalized into the season 1, the first season of hardcore. So there you go. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel. See you guys. Tell me if you have any criticisms about the rule set or maybe the video. Debate me down in the comments. Follow me on Twitch as well. See you guys around. Love you all. Bye bye.